What's up guys, Houndish here, today with some Destiny 2 news. We've got a few words from Bungie about post-launch content for Destiny 2, as well as replayability and the tool sets that they have inside of the studio to make new content. But we also have a few words from Deej about the possibility of cross-platform saves in the future, which we'll talk about in a few moments. At the end of the video, I will also list the release dates and release times for the beta for the consoles coming up in July. So first up, PC Gamer spoke to Bungie about the PC version of the game, and more specifically for this video, about delivering consistent content in the game. We know that we'll get 2 expansions as part of the Season Pass, one sporting the Eye of Osiris, and the other with the Rasputin logo right there. We can expect these to give us more background story about these particular characters and parts of the game, which is pretty awesome, but of course at this point we don't have any further information about what the content will actually entail. But PC Gamer spoke to Bungie about new systems that they have to make content quicker. So Bungie say they've kind of restructured the studio over the years, and they have a team that they call the Engine Lane, and that team is very much focused on the future, and a lot of what they're working on is workflow. And these improvements will make it easier for Bungie to make new content, but they do say one of the things they've found is that the Destiny player consumes content at a rate that they just can't keep up with. As fast as Bungie can possibly make content, in the optimal situation, the right quality of content, is still not fast enough. So they're not only trying to improve workflow, but they're also looking into ways of making content more interesting in the game and continuing to evolve the end game. They mention the Season Pass right here, so they are planning content updates, but they don't give us any further details. But this is a pretty interesting quote right here. So they say, "We can't make enough that you guys won't chew through it really quickly. Again, that's why we've added things like adventures and lost sectors. These are things that are not as full-bodied as strikes are and don't take as much development to actually make them, but they're still really rewarding, and they give Bungie opportunities to give players more." And they say the adventures are about learning more about the destination and to take you along the path, whereas lost sectors act like mini dungeons. There's a boss loose in a cave, you go in, kick his ass and take his loot. And PC Gamer asked whether these will be replayable. Bungie say absolutely. They're designed in a way to be made faster in terms of development, but also they're made so that players can re-engage more frequently without feeling like they're bored of the content. And they say that where they've gotten to in Destiny 1 right now is kind of the starting point. They point out that they're shipping the biggest destination we've ever had in Destiny with the European Dead Zone, and they confirm that we're not revisiting locations like the Cosmodrome. All of the places in Destiny 2 are brand new. And Bungie say there is really a lot of content in this game, and they've really paid attention to that, making sure that it's all new and exciting stuff. So I think this is pretty interesting. They're definitely focusing on how they can deliver the most content. They've kind of fine-tuned at this point, I'd imagine, how much content they can actually get out at the kind of quality that we expect the content to be. But the key thing is, stuff that's going into the base game of Destiny is meant to be more replayable, and it also sounds like they may be adding more adventures and lost sectors potentially inside of expansions, because they speak about how they can iterate on those particular pieces of content very quickly in comparison to strikes or story or raids or anything like that. So really this is in addition to what we already expect to be in Destiny, which is a good thing. Moving on, at E3, Deej did an interview at Twitch Live, and there was a pretty interesting question where they asked him about the possibility of cross-save happening in the future, where you can play the same Persistent Guardians potentially on Xbox, PS4 and PC, seeing as we now have so many platforms. And it was pretty surprising because Deej actually gave, a relatively positive response to this question. He says that cross-save is a conversation that's happening inside of Bungie, but of course it's a conversation that involves other people as well. They'd need a certain amount of support from the platforms and everything like that to make it happen. The key thing is though, is that your character data is saved on Bungie.net. So basically everything happens from within Bungie's API, which does mean that technically it's a lot easier for them to allow you to access your saves on different platforms. And Deej says as a community manager, he plays on PlayStation and Xbox right now, and he plans on playing PC when that launches as well. And he in particular would love to be able to take the same characters on all of those platforms and continue to progress. I personally would love that because, I'm going to be playing the PC version. I'm going to be playing it on consoles with friends, and it would be really nice for me personally to not have to grind individually on each platform. He does make the point that this is not something they'll be ready to support at launch for Destiny 2, but given the fact that he addressed this question so directly, I think it's definitely something which we could see. There was also an interesting article on PvPlive.net about possible cross-game items for Destiny. Considering Destiny will be hosted on Battle.net, it'll be interesting to see whether they have any cross-game promotions of some sort, you know, between, say, Overwatch and Destiny. The same way Overwatch had some cross-game stuff with Heroes of the Storm, Blizzard definitely like to integrate their games in that way, and they're also very involved with the games that are on their platform, so presumably they're going to have some kind of involvement with Destiny 2, and that could mean the possibility of some cross-game stuff at some point, but that is something that Bungie haven't spoken about yet. Finally, if you're wondering when you can get access to the Destiny 2 beta, I have the list right here. So pre-order early access on PS4 starts on July 18th at 10 AM Pacific time, which is 6 PM in the UK. So that is if you've pre-ordered Destiny 2 for PS4. General access will begin on July the 21st at 10 AM Pacific time. So that's for everybody. For Xbox One, pre-order early access begins on July the 19th, one day later than PlayStation, at 10 AM Pacific time once again, and then general access or the open beta is on July the 21st, same as PlayStation, at 10 AM Pacific time. And then as far as the PC version of the beta, we know that it will arrive in late August for both early access and open beta. It looks like the beta will contain the content we've seen at the shows so far, so the Destiny reveal as well as E3, so we'll probably get the inverted Spire strike, perhaps the homecoming mission, hopefully more than one PvP map and mode, preferably. That would be awesome, and it would be really nice if we can get some kind of patrol mode, but that hasn't been confirmed just yet. We will, however, have access to Arcstrider, Dawnblade, and Sentinel, so whichever way, it's going to be extremely exciting. But that sums up this video, guys. Before I go, I just want to remind you guys that you can use code HOUNDISH for 10% off Control Freak products. They do have the new Destiny 2 CQC signature thumbsticks for Xbox One and PS4, so if you guys are interested in those, follow the link down in the description below. But if you have enjoyed the video, a like is appreciated, and if you're new to the channel, be sure to hit subscribe to see a lot more Destiny 2 content. But for now, thanks for watching and have an awesome day.